I have always wanted a barn find. You know what I mean by that? A car that was in a barn and it had been sitting there forever. Really old, unused, low mileage, covered with nothing but dust. Hey, I'm Steve Shields at Kerwinsville Alliance, and we think of those barn finds as real treasures, and they are. But here's something we never think about. When something just sits there and doesn't function, it deteriorates. Take a house that no one's living in, it deteriorates. Take a motorcycle that's been sitting in the back of your garage, it's deteriorating. Take a barn find, it's deteriorating. Take a Christian who's not functioning the way God would want him to. He's deteriorating. I thought of this in terms of the Christian role of priest. We are a royal priesthood, so to speak. That's what the Bible says. And what does a priest do? Well, I don't think that God expects us to go out and offer sacrifices. In fact, I'm sure he doesn't. But he does expect us to engage in the priestly art of intercession. Intercession is going to someone else on behalf of another and pleading that case. It is something that Jesus did in John 17 when he prayed his high priestly prayer. The most famous place, I think, that Jesus did it was on the cross when he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." That's priesting, and Jesus is doing his priestly role. The first time that I can think of that we see the early church doing it, or maybe I should say one of the first times, because I haven't thought this through deeply, is when Stephen is being stoned. And you know what he says? "Lord, do not hold this against them." He's priesting. He's being a priest. You know, sometimes you may feel like your spiritual life isn't what it should be, that it's begun to kind of deteriorate, or entropy is kind of sitting in. And I think part of the reason for that is because we're not fulfilling the role or the roles that God has for us to fulfill. I'm not telling you that the solution to the problems you have in your life is to get busy. That's probably not a bad idea sometimes. I'm telling you that you are a royal priesthood, and part of that priesting is forgiving your enemies. I don't like to forgive my enemies. I like to rehearse those old grudges. But I find, as Frederick Buechner says, that the skeleton at the feast is me when I'm rehearsing those grudges. Forgiveness is an incredibly powerful thing, and it is part of priesting. It is part of your call. So I don't know who you're dealing with in your life that it's difficult for you to pray for them. I don't know what enemies you have, but I would encourage you that if you want to be well, and you do not want spiritual lethargy and apathy to set in, if you do not want spiritual corrosion to begin to eat away at your very soul, then maybe give some thought to who you can be praying for that needs intercession. I'm not just talking about the guy that has cancer that you know and love. I'm talking the guy that feels like he is a cancer, who just makes you crazy. Father, forgive him. Lord, don't hold that sin against him. When you do that, you may discover something. You may discover that a dormant part of your spiritual person begins to come to life. Hey, I'm Steve Shields at Kerwinsville Alliance Church, and I'm glad that you're able to join me. I pray that God will bless you on this beautiful Tuesday. Have a great day.